I'm not concerned about the weight I'm lifting. It's about the range of motion, the contraction, and the volume, while simultaneously being careful with our exercise selection to avoid injury and to somewhat give priority to my weaker muscle groups. Just a few more days before show day, I always get the feeling that I didn't do enough, that there's something more I can do, there's something more I can improve on. It's just a curse, really, but we're gonna do our best and we're gonna look our best. We're gonna keep it 100% until show day. So now we're back home and it's time to eat final meals of the refeed. I have here 100 grams of instant oatmeal with chocolate, raisins, a lot of yogurt, yep, and brown rice, tuna, some vegetables, eggs. Yeah, I really went overboard with this one, with this refeed, because it doesn't seem to register like last time. I don't want looking flat after the refeed. Like, I want to know or gauge how much carbs I'm gonna have to eat when show day comes. So this is an experimental type of refeed. I'm doing it wrong because I'm getting my fats like overboard. I'm over 100 grams of fat right now. It's the wrong kind of refeed, but calling it a refeed, it relieves some of the guilt. Yeah. So we will see tomorrow morning what the effect will be. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and enjoy this. 3 weeks out, man, 3 weeks out. Guess what came in the mail today? My competition shorts. Yep. Yep, that's the one. I don't fill them out as much, but yeah, it shows my quads a little bit. That's the money shot right there. Final upper body day of this week. I always warm up with some flies first. I start with the chest, so I warm up with some flies. Super light, getting that stretch on the muscle, getting the feel for the joint. Make sure nothing's crackling or just squeaky. It primes me for the actual movement, which is the incline dumbbell press. I start with the 5 pounds, do a few reps with that one, and then I pick a bit of a heavier weight, maybe double that, and then do some reps with that one. Just letting my elbows go all the way down and opening up that pectoral muscle. Now, I don't have to do so many reps that I fatigue the muscle so much, just enough to get the blood flowing. I mean, you'll feel it, you'll feel it anyway. And then we go heavier, but we press it this time. Just 3 or 4 reps,
just to get a feel. Mostly my problem is that my elbow, my right elbow, doesn't press the weight the same way as my left. My left is awesome. It's the most awesome joint for me. My right arm, it's a little wonky due to previous injuries. For my last warm-up set, I tried to press the 25 pounds. The 25 kilo dumbbell, which is around 50 pounds, and it felt too heavy. So that was information enough for me to go lower. I'm not concerned about how much weight I'm lifting, like I said. So I went with the 22.5s, which is around 45 pounds, and I'm really trying to get the dumbbell to touch my shoulder. That's how much stretch I'm getting, and I noticed that I fatigue a lot faster. Like I can do 12 reps on the first set where I'm strongest, but my subsequent sets, I'm just doing 10, 8, 6 reps. After the pushing movement, we move on to a pulling movement. I'm just alternating these movement patterns, just so the push muscles have adequate rest time before I go to my next exercise or the next push exercise. So yeah, everyone's favorite variation for lats, lat pull down machine. And as always, I warm up with the weight and do a few reps with that. Now there's a lot of form tips or guidelines or whatever revolving around the lat pull down. I figured out throughout the years there's no real correct way to do this. Like you're just gonna have to experiment. Your lat pull down might look very different from my lat pull down, and there's no correct or wrong way. Whatever your target muscle is and wherever you're feeling it, and depending on where your insertions are or where your lats end and start, it's gonna feel different for everybody. For me, I like grabbing the bar either a little wider or a little closer, just shoulder width. Any closer than that, I feel it in the arms. So that's just me because I have long spaghetti arms. For you, you might benefit more with a closer grip or a neutral grip or a pronated grip. You might get a better benefit if you bring the bar all the way down to your chest, as it touches your chest, or below your chest to your rib cage. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're doing the reps with intensity and you know what part of the back you're trying to target. I think you'll be fine. Yeah, don't listen to any of these TikTok videos or whatever. Experiment what works best for you. There's a lot of experimentation to be had, and do not shy away from trial and error. Yeah, it's I think it's beautiful. So we're done with the first push and the first pull exercise. The second push exercise is an overhead press, which is it's a vertical push movement where you push things overhead. You can do dumbbells, you can do barbell overhead press. I like the machine because I don't have to focus on stabilization. And this is one of those exercises where I didn't have to deload. Yeah, so I guess I did the cut real well. I didn't have to deload on the shoulders, where I'm, trying to keep the muscle mass on my shoulders. That's a good sign. Second pull exercise is a rowing movement, where I'm rowing things in front of me now. This specific attachment hits my mid traps. I can really go heavy on this one, and when I'm doing my rows, well, at least right now, I'm letting the scapula really protract. Is it protract? Yeah, really protract in front of me, and feel the mid trap stretch. You'll feel that pull like in the middle of your back. It's just there, and I'm trying to. It's a very small movement. You're just trying to squeeze and drive from the elbow, and of course, when you get fatigued, I just try to rep it out after the 8th or 7th rep because it just takes so much concentration. So you'll see here, I'm already setting my shoulders down, and from there I let the shoulders roll over. Yeah, sort of like that. But I'm not. It's so easy to mistake the protraction of the shoulder with the arms. You're trying not to use your bicep. It's all back. It's you have to test it out for yourself. See where the stretch, at which point you feel the stretch. And because I have long arms, I have to lean over a little bit. Just a modest 3 sets of 12 on that one. If you can do 12 on all 3 sets, you're wasting your time. You gotta go heavier with that. After the 2 main push movements and after the 2 main pull movements, I can now move on to the the isolation exercises, the show muscles, in this case the hammer curl for the biceps. I find that it makes more sense to progressively overload on the hammer curl. It targets the long head, which is the bicep under your short bicep. So it makes more sense to strengthen that and grow that rather than to like keep trying to grow the short bicep and get that peak. I need the arm to like push outward more and appear bigger. The peak is just like the cherry on top. So I think after this prep, I'm gonna focus more on getting heavy hammer curls and get thicker arms. Yeah, that's my plan. But I do a superset with these. So after the hammer curls, I immediately go to tricep pushdowns. And at this point, I'm just running on fumes. I have no more energy. I don't feel it in the muscle anymore. I'm just mentally drained and fatigued and thirsty and hungry and everything. I'm just probably going through the motions. I feel no pump whatsoever. But that's the struggle. That's the struggle of being at the last few days, weeks of prep. I mean, I asked for this. I have to fight for it. I have to fight for my muscle. But we're not done. We still have to go practice our posing routine. And also, I was feeling a little zesty. The gym was it was not crowded anymore, so I have space to film and record my posing routine, see where I've improved. So you'll see here the actual routine that I'm gonna be doing on stage for WNBF. Basically, a front pose in the middle, and then you go to the right side, do your right pose. You go to the middle, you do your front and back pose, and then you do another front pose. Go to the left side, do your left side pose. I think my right side is my strongest suit, but I'm more relaxed on the left with my left on the hip. Trying to experiment with the Ventura there. The Ventura never really worked for me. I don't know how to use it much. I don't know how to transition with it, so I'm not gonna use that. It's just experimenting again. Posing for me, it is an art form, yes. It's a lot of choreography. It's a form of choreography. You got to be able to dance on stage and keep the audience's attention and to catch the eye of the judges. I haven't taken into account the timing yet because you have to hold your poses for just 3 seconds maximum, and I think I'm taking too long, so I have to work on that. Also, the smiling part. I remember to smile, to acknowledge the judges, acknowledge that it's a show. So you gotta have that stage presence, and you gotta have that swagger, but not too much. And that's basically my entire week. Every end of the workout, I'll spend 15-20 minutes just posing, doing my routine over and over again, trying to get it under the belt, and just do it second nature. Also work on holding it. You can't relax the abs. The judges don't want to see that. You don't want to be like breathing too hard or too deep. Your abs should be tight all the time. Your core and your chest, it shouldn't be wiggling around too much. I'm flexing it around too much or adjusting it too much. You just have to be like a statue up there, and you gotta look good all the time. That's probably how the pros do it. If you watch a men's physique show, every transition, every pose they strike, every setup they do, they look good all the time. The abs don't change. They don't relax. Like their breathing is on point. Just it looks effortless. It looks effortless. It looks flawless. So I haven't developed that tightness yet in my posing. It's a different aspect. Like training and then there's the posing. It's two different ball games, and I love both aspects of it. So anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you again for stopping by. We're 2 weeks out. First show is WNBF, which is on May 18th. NBPH is on May 25th. So there's going to be 2 show days. Going to be showcasing here on the channel. I'm going to film as much as I can during show day to show you what it's like and how I'm prepping for it. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.
to take a